Hey everybody, and welcome to another speed draw video. I know this has been a lot of time in between this one and my last speed draw video. A lot of that has to do with the fact that my phone doesn't really like to cooperate with my computer all too much. In between that span of time, I've tried to record a couple of different things and just haven't really ever got to upload them because the video quality just didn't really work out too well, or it was just really hard to upload it and it was just taking way too long than the time I had to deal with it. But I have a video here now and that's all that matters, right? So today what we're doing here is a screen cap redraw of a scene from Steven Universe from the episode That Will Be All, whenever Amethyst meets the other Amethyst that were a part of her kindergarten on Earth that she never got to meet because she popped out a lot later than all of them. It was actually after the war. So it's just kind of like she's meeting all these long-lost sisters that she never even knew she had for the longest time, so it's just a really touching moment. From left to right, we actually have cut 8xg, cut 8xl, cut 8xj, and our Amethyst herself, cut 8xm. Now, what we're doing here right now is just lining up all of the different sketches, and if you don't know what a screen cap redraw is, it's whenever you take a screen cap from a show, or like a still, and you redraw it in your own style, pretty much. And this was just a scene that I really wanted to do for that, because of all of their expressions are just really fun to draw. And it's kind of good to try to get a big old group of people all in one little scene, and just to kind of play around with all of my purples that I have. Like I said, right now we're only in the lining process, so the way that I like to line, I like big thick lines. I use a brush pen to do a lot of the base lining on the outside to make it nice and thick, and then I go in with thinner multi-liners and add like little hair strands on the ends of the hair, and then I use a thicker brush to go in all of the nooks and crannies of shadow areas, just to blacken it out and just make it nice and dark and give it kind of a comic feel, which is a lot of inspiration to my drawings that I used to do, is a lot of comics and cartoons. So I read a lot of manga growing up. I read a lot of Naruto, so that was a big inspiration in how I shade and try to do drawings in general. Anyway, for this, after we go through all of the blacks and everything, we'll get into the coloring, and that's where I think the fun begins, and it starts to really bring stuff together, and I get to play again with all my different violets and everything. Now, for colors, what I use the Copic sketch markers and the brush tip of the marker, because those are just very flexible and it gives it a nice little semi-watercolor feel, but with ink. It's a nice alcohol marker and they're really fun to blend. Now I used BVOO for the base of the skin and then was shading with V12, but I didn't like how it looked compared to the reference color, so I just decided to color it all back in with the V12, and then went back in different shadow areas once it dried a little bit, just to make it a bit darker. And then I go in with a neutral gray for the hair shading. And now you can see here I'm coloring in the uniforms. A lot of that is just so I didn't confuse myself as I continued with this piece and accidentally color one of their uniforms with a purple instead of the blue like it's supposed to be, since they are under Blue Diamond's rule and their uniforms kind of match. Now, finishing up with 8xg, we go into our Amethyst. Now, her skin colors are a little more familiar to me. I've drawn her a couple other times, and you just see her a lot more, so I'm kind of more comfortable with hers. Her skin shading was done with V22 and V25, and then her hair shading was also the neutral gray number 0. And then I go back over to 8xg to still fiddle around with her. And then now for 8xl, her skin tone is a lot darker compared to the other ones. Hers is more of a blue violet, so I went in with a BV11 and a V25 for her shading, and then I actually used an R11, which is more of a pink, for her shading, and went over it with the N0 again. Now, 8XJ, her skin tone is just slightly darker than our Amethyst, so I used the V25 that was her shade, and used it as the base skin tone, and then used V28 for their shading. And then her hair shade is actually an RV10 or red violet, because it was another slightly pink color. So I did that and went back over through with the colorless blender to blend that in, and then I started coloring in their gems. And this is just a different mix of the violets and red violets that I had, including the actual color amethyst, because if you're gonna color amethyst, you need to have the color amethyst, you know? And then I used a lot of the colors that I used for the skin tones and everything in the background to color in their little cubbies. And then use the V12 to kind of make a shadow in the background to blend it all in nicely. And then I'm going to come in with my Sakura Jelly Roll white gel pen, and I add the highlights to the eyes, the lips, the gems, and then I outline them with the white so that they stand out from the background and from each other, because they are separate people, they're not all just one amalgamation. And that's pretty much it for my style. And then, of course, you know I am Famethyst for life. But yeah, that was a really fun screen cap redraw, and just a really fun drawing in general to do, and I hope you all enjoyed it. And I hope that I get to do another redraw for you guys, or just a drawing in general for you. So, I'll see you all then. Bye-bye!